Hello, my name is Matt. Welcome to another episode of Unbearable 73. It's time for Bleach, Season 17, The Thousand Year Blood War, Episode 7, Born in the Dark. This is the episode that corresponds to the part of the manga where the secrets of who and what Ichigo is, or are, one verb, begin to be dropped by Kubo. It's kind of funny. I was watching the Normies review of Episode 2 yesterday or the day before. Episode 2 of Bleach, they just started the series. And as they start their journey, they're asking questions for which they won't get the real answer until literally like now, like 300 episodes later, this episode. Okay, so this is the first episode where I had issue with the production, okay? Several parts of the episode involve flashbacks to Old Man Genocide's life over 1,000 years ago. The transition to and from those are not very well done. It just doesn't, you have to, like, you recognize the transition, but you recognize it's a flashback, but it just feels like it's in the same sequence as the current time. It's kind of jarring, you know. This episode opened up pretty much right where the last one left off. Old Man Genocide has been struck down in the last seconds of life. We see some flashbacks to the events 1,000 years ago more, like I mentioned. Ichigo escapes from his imprisonment. He first assesses what's going on, and then he finds Byakuya wounded and seemingly dying. Hint, he's not dead. Byakuya expresses the common thought that as a human, Ichigo shouldn't be involved in any of this, that they should be protecting humans, and this is beyond human concern. But he still asks Ichigo protect this whole society, because Byakuya's that type of guy, you know. But especially since Ichigo gave him the wake-up call. Now then we get to the point where Ichigo fights Yawik. He's about to lose. Ichigo activates his Quincy powers, or more of his Quincy powers, I should say. Now, if you haven't figured it out by now, Ichigo has never activated his Zanpakuto-related Shinigami powers, okay? Or rather, his Zanpakuto is not his real Zanpakuto, okay? Master Zangetsu, i.e. Ichigo, that's Ichigo's Zanpakuto's name, is not what everyone has been led to believe. We see Ichigo activate his blood vein, which Ichigo has no idea what that is, but we know that as fans. We've seen it before. Yawik begins to reveal Ichigo's origins. Yawik is about to strike Ichigo in a way that will disable him when the power that they use to end the Soul Society runs out, apparently due to Aizen's power. So, yeah. So, that's our roughly overly about plot synopsis. Now, there's a bunch of stuff that happens in this episode. First of all, let's look at some pictures. Not that one. There we go. So, that is Master Zangetsu. That is Yawik. Master Zangetsu, Yawik. Very specifically, Master Zangetsu looks like Yawik when he was very young, like Ichigo's age. And there's a reason for that. It's not 100% very well explained in the manga. It's a lot of, I guess, indirect indication, and you have to draw from. I'm about to explain, but you have to draw from the sort of analogies to Christianity that Kubo is drawing on for this. But in short, Master Zangetsu is the manifestations of Ichigo's Quincy powers. Originally, Zangetsu has been working to keep Ichigo from ever developing any of his Shinigami abilities as a means to protect him, as well as serve Yawik's will. Okay, the reason it doesn't really make any sense, because without his powers, Ichigo would have long since been dead. But that aside, if you're not picking up the loose analogy to Yawik impregnating Ichigo's mom with his spirit to Yahweh impregnating Mary with Jesus via the Holy Spirit, you're missing something. And by the way, Yawik is Yahweh. Basically, in his past, I don't know if it's ever revealed in the I don't remember if it's revealed in the manga or like in a light novel or something, but when he was young and he first began to be able to talk, the people who were like protecting his body and all were the ancient Jewish people, and they called him Yahweh or Yahweh. So he knew he wasn't that being. He knew he's really God's son, the Soul King, the God, but he assumed that name that they gave him. Okay? So yeah, it's a really weird analogy. Like Ichigo is basically Jesus, you know. Now, whereas in the prior episode, I lamented the short fights, in this one, they're okay. The brevity is important because Ichigo basically gets pawned. Some brief flashes, and like the fight between Yawik and Old Man Genocide should have been a 2 or 3 episode fight, just like it should have been much longer in the manga. But again, back to the point I'm making here. The brevity was important. Ichigo getting pwned was important. Or in simple terms, as part of his hero's journey, Ichigo needed to lose badly to Yalek. So, I'd rate this episode a 7 out of 10. I think it suffers from plot issues that the manga has, despite continuing the actual production values. I mean, the blood vein animation on Ichigo is particularly well done, for example. Thanks for watching my video. Smash the like button if you liked it. Hit the dislike if you didn't. Comment down below if you have any questions for me about this video. Please share the video if you found it worthwhile. I'm Matt. This has been another episode of Unbearable 73. Have a nice day, and I am out of here.